Is Ange Postecoglou about to pull a rabbit out of a hat and bring in a direct replacement for Joe Hart, even though they were looking to get a replacement for Scott Bain this summer? Yet Celtic are looking to sell Scott Bain, who has 12 months remaining on his contract. He is on £395,000 a year. But you know what the manager's like, and is it the fact that he's going to try and bring in a replacement for Joe Hart? There has been talk of some keepers down south that we've been looking at. Jota talks about the fact that he's so grateful for the moment. You could never imagine when he was younger that he would have a moment like this. We'll talk about that. And where Celtic denied a penalty. I'm going to show you the video footage for this towards the end of the video, and I'll let you decide for yourself. Where Celtic denied a penalty in the 80th minute of the game, since the other side are talking about injustice for VAR. We'll talk about one moment in the match that wasn't even looked at by VAR, and we'll get you to decide for yourself, was it a penalty or was it not? So back to the sort of the main story. We kind of spoke about it the other day, that Bain was going to be released, but it's looking like Celtic might actually try and coin in and get some money from him in the last year of his contract. I don't know if it's the last year of his contract or if it's one of these extension ones where you get the extended deal, so it might be the case that he will leave for nothing this summer and they just won't invoke the extra year. They like what they did with what's his name that went to Portugal. Yeah, Mikey Johnson, that was it. My head's a mess this morning. Who's still got a hangover. Anyway, Bain and his 5-year stay at Glasgow looks to be coming to an end. Mark Lawwell is already laying the groundwork for a new keeper to replace Bain by scouting potential targets. But you know what Ange Postecoglou is like? Could it be the fact that he's actually going to bring in a keeper that could rival Joe Hart? That's a question that needs to be asked. So Jota went on about the song that was sung before the game. He says, "I'm happy Ellie could be here on Saturday. It was nice to finally meet her. I was aware she was singing before the game, but I wasn't on the pitch at the time. I couldn't hear it because I was in the dressing room. We have pretty thick concrete walls here. I knew it was live performance and it was happening. I will definitely make sure I get a chance to see the video. I am so grateful for the moment. I could never imagine when I was young to have moments like this. I was thrilled." You got to admit, Jota is one player that is absolutely loving life at Celtic. He's obviously equally loving the fact that he scored against the Rangers. And let's move on for that. Let's go into the penalty, the matter of a penalty, and then we'll go into the comment section first. Let's look at the penalty. Right, let's look at this penalty in the 80th minute. Obviously there was Chris Boyd, Ali McCoist and Neil McCann and everyone, and anything to do with Celtic, Tavernier, Mickey Beale and everybody calling out for handballs that were basically, don't know what they were going on about. But let's look at this penalty chance. Right, I'm going to keep on slowing it down. So as you can see here, if you watch the ball here, right, he's got his hand on his back. So if you watch this bit here, I'm going to play it through. Right, does O go down really easy, or is this a blatant penalty? So I'm going to slow it down again, and you watch, and you can see he's got his arm against the back of the, and then there, this point here, his feet actually, O kicks the back of his leg. So is his foot in front? Is the arm up there for a penalty? Tell me yourself. We'll watch it in real time again, and then we'll slow it down. And we'll keep slowing it, and we'll keep slowing it. There they go there. Is that a penalty? Is that the decision that VAR didn't even look at? As you can see, the Rangers player, his foot is in front of the Celtic player, stopping him running forward, and the push on the back, the blatant push on the back. Is that a penalty for Celtic? Tell me that. It's just to wind them up, really. It's honestly just to wind them up. So make sure you share this video. I might make this as the thumbnail. Was this the penalty that should have been for Celtic in the 80th minute and 13 seconds? You tell me. It obviously wasn't even looked at. Clancy didn't even look at it at all. O wasn't given a card or anything for a dive. So you tell me. This is the team that complains about everything. It was only a few weeks ago that we were tinfoil hat people, let's say, for not getting things for VAR according to them, and now that they didn't get things for VAR, well, that's kind of karma, isn't it? And then pushing for an equaliser, O obviously made that run forward. He turned, prepared to shot a goal. and he was pulled down. Wow. Tell me in the comments section. Anyway, I digress. So let's jump over to the comments section of yesterday's video, which was about McCoist, Boyd and Neil McCann and their meltdown. The first up is Cold and Ugly. He says, we were conspiracy nutters a week ago, but now VAR needs fixing because they didn't get what they want. A reply from the Heart says, the deluded live in their own reality. Think it's probably listed as the DSM-5. John Magrude, he said, which team has never had a penalty awarded against them this season? And how many goals has the Rangers scored from penalties? The pathetic sense of entitlement knows no bounds. Celtic won a close derby. Live with it. Boyd was desperate for VAR, says Phil. David Thompson says Taylor was superb, by the way. AJ was built for big games. He was that. Peace, love, butterflies, and all cuddly things. That's a YouTube name and a half, says. Glad you got that right. I'm used to saying that the usual penalty Rangers correction. It was a foul all day. AJ, a born Celtic player again. Her wisdom shows. Don't even peek at the other side. Zombie meltdown incoming. We never sell our club for £1, says. When you see Tavernier being Sevgo's top goal scorer, it tells you all you need to know about their level. Most of his goals came from the penalty spot, which is true. Set piece Rangers, and that was one of the things that the boss had a dig at. He says they were only really good at set pieces. Alistair Bell says, hold on a minute. Wasn't it Chris Boyd who was champion for VAR in the first place? Yes, it was. And now it's him greeting about it. Reap what you sow, Boyd. Get it right up, yeah. Yes. And then the next one says, Happy Easter. This comes from Colin Devlin. Green Lecture says, AJ was born. Bargain of the season. Hit the ground running. Ibrox looked very a quality player. Yep, I think Alistair Johnson is one of the players that's came in, and he's going to turn out to be a complete bargain. John Duncan says the way that Scottish officials have given penalties against Celtic after the game has been moved on, shocking. It has been. The game has been moved on. It's just one of those things. If you watch it in the English Premier League, then the penalties against Celtic wouldn't have been given. On that note, John, have a look back at this video if you're watching it and tell me about the O penalty. Is that a penalty? For me, it's a penalty all day long. The Rangers player sticks his leg in front of O and he pushes him on the back. Also, it might have been soft, but it is a penalty. Nothing was said about the 25 penalties they've been awarded this season. So on that note, it's Monday. I hope you have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. Make sure you leave a comment and leave a like on this video, and I shall see you on the next one.
Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up.